Well, welcome to this special video. It's all about the Functional Skills Mathematics test. Now, this is the Functional Skills exam pages on our website, englishandmaths.com. And if you scroll on down towards the bottom of there, what you'll see is on the right hand side there we've got the practice papers. Now where the cursor is at the moment, it's on test level 2. Test level 1's on the left, test level 2. Now primarily this video is designed for those people who've got Apple Macs, and we understand it's virtually impossible to access this on an Apple Mac. You may indeed get difficulties accessing it with a Windows 10 computer. Just to the top left you'll see there is a sample test player download that may or may not work on your computer. Now this is nothing to do with us, it's all linked into Edexcel's website. What we're going to be doing here is basically showing you how these tests work. So let's just imagine for a moment that we can download the test. So we'll click on it, and then we're going to save, and then we're going to open at the top. Now what we've got there are two files, and we're going to click on the one that gives you the breakdown of how the marks would be awarded. So that's your mark scheme. Lots of information there. Now this mark scheme relates to the test that we're going to be looking at. So that's that file above this that we just saw. So if you're interested, that's how the marks will be allocated, and if you scoot on down you'll see exactly what the examiner would be looking for. So it's a pretty useful resource there. Okay, now what we're going to be doing next here is the mark scheme for the various questions that comprise that test, which we're looking at very shortly. Okay, so if you're interested you can have a look through. Now if we go back, we're going to click now on the top one, and what will happen now is the test is going to open. Okay, now what you see in front of you is very much what you're going to see on the day of the test. Okay, so once you're sat in the examination room, and you've been logged on, Invigilator will log you on, that's what you're going to see there. Level 2 Functional Skills Test in Maths. Just make sure that you're down for the mathematics, it's not English. Now have a look at what it says next. We've got two sections. Section A, non-calculator, and section B is your calculator. Now section A, you will be given paper and a pen so you can do some working out, but there's no calculator. So there are 4 questions and each one will have several parts. So we're going to click, and once we've started that, the timer starts. Okay, there we go. A bit more information there. Tells you to answer all the questions. Calculators may not be used. This is non-calculator section. Total mark for this section 16. Okay, and as we look down, the section's 25 minutes. Now obviously it's timed and it's on the computer because you take it obviously on screen. So once your time's up, that's it, you're finished on that one. Okay, so just watch out for that. And now we're going to click and it's going to start. Now what I'm going to mention first and foremost is the bottom right hand tab. It says finish. Whatever you do, don't click on that. You can ignore that for the whole duration of the exam. Now if you click on that, you're indicating that you've finished the test, full stop. And what will happen then is the test gets uploaded to the Edexcel examination board's computer and it's finished. We can't bring it back. So what you mustn't do is once you've finished the non-calculator section, don't click on that. If you do, that's it. The test's finished. We can't bring it back for you to do the calculator section. It's finished. Just ignore that bottom right hand tab. You don't need it. Okay, now it's just really a case, very intuitively, that you can drag things across, and you can see how it works there. Very straightforward, really. There's nothing too difficult about that. So we've got a fairly simple sum, and then you put the answer into the answer box there, and that's basically it. So it's very intuitive, nothing to worry about. When you've done that one, drop the cursor down to the middle of the taskbar and press next, and it comes back to the next question there. It's very similar setup as before, though. You've got the grid and you've got the various mathematical symbols at the top, and it's just a case of dragging them onto the grid to show the working out. So it's very intuitive, and you continue with that all the way through those tests. So you can see on the bottom it gives you a running count of how many you've actually done. And there is your time as it starts to get reduced. Okay, so you keep on doing that. Very straightforward. And there you are. Now here you've reached the end of the section. You can review your answers here, and that means that here at this point you can actually go back. So if you left a question and you didn't do it, or maybe you've had a rethink and you think you didn't do it in the correct way, at this point you can actually go back. You can't do that once you've completed the section here. Once you've clicked on that, that's it. It's then closed, you can't go back. Okay, and it's finished. Okay, don't press the finish button at this stage. If you do, it means you can't do the second part of the test and you're not likely to pass. So just forget the bottom right hand finish tab, forget that altogether. Confirmation is required there, so just read through that once you have completed the section, you're quite pleased with it. And if you are, just click. And then you'll get this page, and again identical to the page that's going to open when you're actually taking the test for real. Okay, this section is 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay, and you've got 12 questions. Now this one is the calculator section, and once we click on the start section, what you should see at the bottom left of the taskbar is the icon for the calculator. Okay, now there's a magic button on the top that says copy your working out box. Can you see it? So what you would do there, anything you put into the calculator, if you press that button, it will automatically transfer over to the working out box, which you can see on the right hand side of the screen. So you don't need to bring your own calculator on today. This one is built into the program, and it has that magic button that it can transfer the data that you've put into the calculator and the calculations. It can transfer it directly over to the box. Okay, that's your working out box, and whatever an answer is, again, you put that into the answer box there. Okay, same as before. Once you're happy with that, you click on next. Same sort of thing here. Look, it's fairly straightforward again. Follow exactly what it says in the question. You can drag things around fairly intuitively using your cursor. You can also use the magic pad on the actual laptop or the mouse. It's entirely up to you. And you can put all the information in the working box. Click on next again. That takes you to the next question there. There's your working box there, and what you have to do then is to give it some thought, obviously. Do read the question. Make sure you understand what the question's asking you as well. And then whatever the answer is, you put that into your answer box and you click on to the next one and so forth. And you'll see they're all more or less the same sort of format. So you've got your working box there and you've got your answer box as well. Okay, that one gives you the formula. So if you know what to do with the data, that's fairly straightforward to put that in. And as we progress through the questions, you'll see they are very similar in their format. The working out box is on the right hand side, and you've got your answer box as well on the left. Okay, don't forget you've got access to the on-screen calculator on the bottom left. Same sort of thing again. Questions on the left hand side, your answers on the bottom, and the working box is on the right hand side. And we progress through now. Not many left now. That's 12. 13. Again, you can see a similar pattern and a similar format. And because on this video, if you wanted to, you could, don't forget, you can pause this video if you wanted to take a close look at some of these questions, maybe have a go at them. You can do that. You just have to pause this video and you can wind us back or wind us forward. And we're coming up now to the last question. There's your last question. Again, very similar to what we've seen before. You've got the grid, mathematical symbols. It's just a case of dragging them over. As you can see here, that's kind of showing how you're going to get the answer. and then when you get the answer, you put that in the answer box. So once you've completed the section, it'll flash up here again. You've reached the end of the test. You can review the last section answers here. Now, at this stage, you can go back. Don't click on finish at the bottom right. Ignore that entirely. If you wanted to go back, you just click back and it'll take you back to the previous sums. Okay. But if you're quite happy with everything, let's just make sure that everything's fine there. Yep, you're absolutely 100% certain that everything's fine. Then what you do is you have to look at complete the test. You'll see there's two colors here, blue background and orange background, and numbers on a blue background indicate that you've not attempted the question, so at this stage you might want to go back and have a go at them. Numbers on an orange background simply indicate that you have. Okay, so maybe on 1 or 2 you didn't put the answer into the answer box, so you may have to go back and just correct that. Okay, or if you didn't have a go, if you've got time, you can see the time on the bottom taskbar, you can go back and have a rethink and see if there's a way that you might be able to give an answer. Once you are certain everything's fine, click on complete test. It'll just ask for your confirmation and then just click yes, and that's it. Your examination is complete, and what will happen then is that will be uploaded to the Edexcel's examination board, their website, and somebody there will mark that, and usually between 10 to 12 days we'll get the marks emailed to us. It could take a lot longer though, it can take up to 28 days, and once we have the marks we'll then email them to you. Okay, and after that the certificates are usually available maybe a couple of weeks after we've sent you the results.